everybody, and welcome back to another fantasy football episode. We will be looking through the week 33. It is week 33, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to be looking through week 33's results, which is kind of funny because I ended up on 33 points, which is not good, but it was 1 point above average, but I did lose a load of places, unfortunately. You win some, you lose some, and I definitely lost some this week, but it was always going to be a difficult week because with the events of the Champions League, Liverpool playing Man City, we didn't know what teams they were going to put out, and I had 3 Man City players and 3 Liverpool players, so I had to kind of make a decision as to what I was going to do. Was I going to replace those guys completely, or just take the hit in a week? And I replaced a couple of players. Like, I knew Salah was not going to play. I wasn't too sure about Mane and Firmino, being that they were big games that Liverpool and Man City had. And yeah, again, I replaced I think it's Silva I had in midfield because I didn't know if he was going to play or not. In the end, he did, and I brought in Aubameyang up front. Made him captain because they were playing against Southampton, Arsenal, that is. And yeah, just kind of winged it a little bit, I guess. Didn't really work out, did it? Not from some very good points there at all for the week, but hey, at least we had some entertaining football as a whole, and next week's going to be even more interesting in terms of the game, as you'll see later on. So let's talk about the big talking point, the big game first. Bournemouth v Crystal Palace. I'm joking. Man City against Manchester United. That's a dramatic pause because it's difficult to actually like, football's a weird game sometimes. There's not, like, there are always comebacks in games, but I think football for me is like the only game, like big professional game I can think of where things can change so drastically in a match all of a sudden. When I think of like other sports, I mean, I don't really watch enough basketball, baseball, or American football, gridiron, to understand if this kind of happens in those sports. But certainly in, I think, most other sports, you probably wouldn't see a match in this ilk. So, for those who don't know, who didn't watch it maybe, Man City went 2-0 up, but they didn't just go 2-0 up, but they destroyed Man United. I mean, they made Man United look like West Brom. They were brilliant, they were sensational. They should have been 5-0 up at half time, but they were 2-0 up. Kompany's header was like, it always impresses me how well some defenders like head the ball, like in scoring. John Terry was another one. Vincent Kompany's definitely one of them, because I know you might say, well, hang on, a defender heads the ball, a central defender heads the ball out a lot, so that they're used to heading the ball, but the thing is, they're used to heading the ball away from the goal, or anywhere else but the goal, and then when they go for a corner, they're heading it towards the goal. And okay, it's not a entirely different skill, but there's a subtle enough difference at pro level that in some ways some of these central defenders shouldn't be as good at scoring headed goals as they are, and yet a guy like Kompany is good, and it was a fantastic header. Terrible defended by Chris Smalling, absolutely shocking. He was pulling Kompany's shirt so that I was watching on Match of the Day and you could barely even make out Kompany's name and number on the shirt. Chris Smalling was pulling it, stretching it so much, and Kompany still managed to get a bullet header it in, and it was just kind of embarrassing for Smalling, I think, in a way. But it doesn't bode well for England versus Belgium in the World Cup, does it, really? But hey, there we go. scored. Nice worked move, nice little spin, slots in the corner like very soon after. Sterling should have had a hat-trick. He was so woeful in front of goal. Like, he had some chances where you feel like they should have been put away. And for everybody dissing Pep for not playing him against Liverpool, perhaps, you know, he didn't really do too much while he did, you know, get into good scoring opportunities. He didn't really kind of like what's the word? He didn't really endear himself, I guess, to being able to do that. So yeah, it's weird, you know. It's really weird. Why he kind of missed those. I think he's fallen out of form a little bit recently. It's tough to tell. I think Man City as a whole have fallen out of form recently, and I don't just mean because of their, you know, massive upset loss to Liverpool, which was a massive upset. Like, Liverpool are a fantastic team in my opinion. They are the form team in England since the turn of the year, but you still would not have put them down to win that game 3-0. But I feel like Man City have tailed off a little bit this calendar year, which is understandable. You know, in the same way like a Bayern Munich, they tail off a little bit because their league's won. You know, same thing for Man City. The league is won. It would be an upset there, up there with Leicester winning the league, for Man City to, you know, throw away a 13-point lead, you know, with 6 games remaining. It's not. I mean, the fixtures they have are not that hard, so it would really take a, you know, and you know, for Man United to carry on and win every single one of those games left. It's just unthinkable. I think that would happen, but obviously from a Man City point of view, being able to wrap that up, I think, early, and especially at home to your biggest rivals, would have been really nice. And I don't know what happened, whether or not it, I mean, well, I know what happened. So Man United came out the second half with, you know, a point to prove. They'd obviously were motivated, but, you know, this was Man City's game to lose, and they did lose it. Now, Pogba was fantastic. Let me just take a drink. In the second half, he was awful. In the first half, he looked like, trying to think, he looked like, I don't know, he just looked like a championship player in the first half. You know, he just wasn't anywhere near anything. He kept trying to do like little skill points and, you know, little moves in his own half, and they just weren't, you know, they just weren't working. But in the second half, he was like a kind of a man possessed. You know, he was getting much further forward. He scored 2 goals. Really nice runs to score them, especially I think the second one, which was just kind of like chipped into him and he just headed it in, and it was from Sanchez, I think. They're really good, and I think it was Sanchez. Was it Sanchez? Yeah, it was Sanchez. Oh, yeah. And then the first one was kind of chested down by Herrera. Really nice. So Man United scored some really nice goals. You know, Smalling kind of, I guess, in a way, making up in a way for Company the mistakes with Company by, you know, smashing in his own header from a Sanchez free kick. But make no mistake, this I feel like this really is a this really was Man City losing that game, which is kind of fascinating away from a psychological point of view, because what happened, you know, to Man City there? People are kind of, I love the way some people have come out and been like, oh, Pep Guardiola's a fraud, or he's getting found out now, you know, or what's he going to do, go and buy another, you know, £100 million worth of players, or £200 million worth of players? And it's like, listen, at the end of the day, Pep Guardiola's not on that pitch. He set that team up to go out there and win that football match with some fantastic players, and he was let down, you know, because, you know, for whatever reason, the first half they should have been like 5-0 up. They were playing scintillating football, just, you know, they didn't finish the moves. That is not the manager's fault, you know. Tactically, he got that right in the first half. They blew Man United away. Now, what you could argue is that, you know, coming back in the second half with Man United coming back, you know, I kind of I think he said, and I think that Fabian Delph said that there was a 15-minute spell basically where Man United were really coming at them, and they should have weathered that better, and they didn't. And that is interesting because I feel like that's the first time other than Liverpool where Man City have had to actually face a a real attack at them. We saw it with Liverpool, not so much I think, or a little bit I guess in the Champions League, but certainly in their last league match. And you can turn around and go, well, that's the way you beat Man City. You have to attack them, you have to put them on the back foot, and they have a shaky defence. But genuinely, I feel like there's only about 4 teams in the league who can do that. Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea and Tottenham. I don't think Arsenal are capable of that, and I don't think any other team in the league is capable of it. And even if you are capable of it, you have to have your players on, turned up to 100 basically, which Man United were in the second half. They were really good. Pogba got a lot more confidence. Sanchez was playing well. And in the Liverpool game, obviously, Salah, Mane, Firmino were, at 100% there, and as the rest of the team were. So I don't, anybody who turned around and said like, oh, Man City are unbeatable, knows nothing about football. Clearly, every football team is beatable. Like, there's no football team on earth who will just not be beaten. There are ways to get beaten, even in Arsenal's invincible season where they didn't get beaten in the league, they were beaten in other competitions. So, a team will get beaten. Something will happen, whether it's, events have conspired, against them, or a little bit of luck here, a little bit of luck there. At the end of the day, Man City should have had a penalty. 100% should have had a penalty with, I think it was Ashley Young. Yeah, I think it was Young going in on Aguero's. Young or Valencia, I think Young though. And like basically tackling him at the knee, and how it wasn't given as a penalty, I don't know, and also how he stayed on the pitch, I don't know, but it should probably have been 3-3. Probably would have been a fairer result. Man City dominating the first half, Man United coming back in the second, but as it were, they didn't have that bit of luck, and they hit the post a little bit, and they didn't finish that well, and De Gea pulled off a great save. You could go on, and sometimes that will happen, and a team gets beaten like this. Now, the interesting thing is that's 2 losses in 2 games for City, and then they've got to play Liverpool again on Tuesday, I believe. How are they going to react to that? How is that match going to go? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, this was the worst match for them to have in a way, because they didn't really have to care about this match. Like, it doesn't matter if they lose this match in the scheme of things. To Man City fans, it probably does, because you don't want to lose to a rival. But in the big scheme of things, it didn't matter. I feel like Pep almost shouldn't have played as much of a full-strength side as he did. I think he did play too many kind of like full-time players, but you've got to admire the guy. He's going out there and he's trying to win every game, and that's fair enough. A lot of other teams would have just played the kids out there and not given a shit, but he's got 40,000-50,000 fans there who are watching a Manchester derby, and I guess he wants to put on a show. And while they're probably gutted they lost, at least they got to see their team play some fantastic football in the first half. So it's just a really, really interesting game, fascinating. And I mean, Mourinho said at the end that he feels that Man United deserve a bit more respect. Like, and I would agree with him if they had played like that second half week in, week out, but they don't. They played badly, and in a lot of games, and only by the fact that they have some very talented players have they actually managed to cement second place, or not cement it, but kind of that they're 4 points ahead with the game in hand of Liverpool, or 4 points ahead of Tottenham if you like. So it was important for them to win that game because they want to get second, I guess. Don't want to drop down any further, but if they played like that every week, they'd be challenging Man City for the title, not not everybody questioning whether Mourinho is the right man for the job. So I feel like I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so it's just such an interesting, fascinating game, you know, to kind of pick apart and look at from like two different halves. Like football's just fascinating like that. That a team, you know, that Man City can go into that dressing room at half time having blown Man United away, and then the second half comes along and it just completely reverses it. And you know, Man City players will probably be pretty furious at the end of that, but they've got to block that out of their mind because they've got to play Liverpool, who they also pretty much blew it against. I can't see them being able to get back at Liverpool. I can certainly see them scoring. I could certainly see them scoring 4 goals against Liverpool, but I can't see Liverpool not scoring against them again, as long as Salah's back, I think. And I mean, Liverpool rested a lot of players for their very, very boring match against Everton, I will say. Probably had the best chance. I think Solanke had the best chance and it forced a good save from Pickford, but it was just a nothing match, and Liverpool rested a lot of players. I think Salah, to be fair, was injured, so was Robertson, but I think they're going to be okay to play against City on Tuesday. But it was really just a nothing match in a way. But yeah, that Man City Man United match, for me, I'm wondering how that affects next season, you know, coming into, if Man United can get their act together and if those players can start gelling, and maybe if they can get a decent defender or two, you know, will they be able to challenge Man City? You know, I want to have a more competitive Premier League next season. It's been great to watch Man City, and it's great that you know, people always kind of turned around and talked and said, oh, Pep Guardiola couldn't do it in the Premier League. It's a different kettle of fish to Spain and Germany. And he's come in and he's done it in the Premier League. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will talk about those 2 losses he got, and I'm sure he is pretty pissed off at that. But they've got 90 goals. They've conceded the least in the league, even though they just got, you know, even though they just conceded 3, they still conceded the least. I think. Always check Burnley. No, Burnley are good. You know, and a massive goal difference of 66 with 84 points. They've still got 6 games left. There's still 18 points available, so they could still hit 100. If they win every single game, or not every single, but nearly all of them, and draw one, which they're capable of doing. They've got Spurs next, and it's a tough match, but they're capable of doing it. Is that a Saturday 7:45 kickoff? That's bizarre. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, if they draw that, they could win the rest of their games, I'm sure. But the point is that that takes away nothing, I don't think, from the fact that they are going to walk the league and have played fantastic football this year. And that's important, because I'm sure a lot of people will be like, oh, see, Pep Guardiola, he's a rubbish manager. And it's just mind-blowing that people think that. He clearly is an exceptionally talented manager, one of the best managers we've ever seen. You know, I will agree that he hasn't built a club in the same way that an Alex Ferguson did at Man United, but football's also different nowadays. In a way, he kind of did a fairly similar thing at Barcelona. Yes, he had some exceptionally good players when he took over, but they weren't exactly, you know, the amazing team that he turned them into. So, and I love the fact that he's come to England with this style of football, this possession-based football, but it's entertaining, not the Louis van Gaal possession-based football. And played some great football, and we've seen some great goals and just some amazing passes and plays from his players. And clearly, he gets the best out of his players. He's, you know, we should be thanking him in a way, because as England fans, if you're an England fan, that is, because, or even if you're a flipping, you know, I don't know, like German fan with Sane, or you know, Kevin De Bruyne, you know, for Belgium, or just any of those players, because he has made them better players. And you know, Sterling, I'm hoping, is going to play a big part for England in the World Cup this year. He looks really good. I know I've just been slagging off saying how much he missed the chances, but you know, he's still very dangerous. Clearly, he's scored 21 times this season, so you can't really have a go at him if he's had one match where he's missed a bit. But what's an important match, to be fair. But yeah, just fascinating, I think. So I'm really intrigued to know how that Tuesday match is going to go now, because you get a feeling if Man City had walked that, like, how would that have affected things? But now that they lost, does that make it better for them? And can they be like, right, we need to go out and prove a point? Or, you know, are they going to be like, oh shit, you know, we blew that one as well? You know, is the confidence going to drop a little bit? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's a must-watch game, though, I think. Anyway, I talked about Liverpool-Everton a little bit. Pretty boring match, I think, in a way. Bournemouth, Crystal Palace. My team, Crystal Palace. We drew with Bournemouth 2-2. We should have won. One of the things I'm kind of fed up with Palace this season is blowing it. Like in the last, last 10 minutes of a game. Milivojevic scored a fantastic free kick, really nice free kick. I know Will Zaha gets all the headlines, and you know he scored a really good goal, and I genuinely believe that he is the best player outside of a top 6 club in the league. I don't know what you guys think about this, but outside of those 6 clubs, I don't think there's a player any one of these clubs who is better than Wilfried Zaha. And maybe even a lot of the players at these clubs, but yeah, I definitely feel that about Zaha. Maybe I'm biased. I've been following the guy since he was, in the academy, and there were so many good things people were talking about him there, and I said to so many people that he was going to be a big deal, and they laughed at me because he's a Crystal Palace player, and in a way, I kind of hope he goes and takes the next level and goes to a big massive club. I'd love him to go to City. I don't think that will happen, but I'd love him to get coached by Guardiola and really see that happen. I'd hate for him to go somewhere like under Mourinho and just have all the flair coached out of him, but we'll see. But he gets the headlines because he is that player and he scores fantastic goals and he takes it past players, and you see the highlight reels of it on YouTube. But Milivojevic, I think, has been our form player this season, like without a doubt. I think he's our top goal scorer, I'm pretty sure. He has scored a lot of penalties, but 10 goals in the league this season. Yeah, that is our top goal scorer, and he's been fantastic for us. He really has. He's been fantastic since he joined the club. He joined in the transfer window last year. Sam Allardyce brought him, and he was fantastic from day one. Just a really quality player, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get some bids for him in the summer from some bigger clubs, because I think he has been really good, and I hope we don't sell him. Look, I think he's really important to us, but yeah, we'll see. Fair play to Bournemouth though, we went 1-0 up, they brought it back. Zaha scored, I thought maybe the winner, but in the dying moments, they popped up from another corner and scored, and just heartbreaking in a way. The only consolation is that Southampton and Stoke lost, so now we're 3 points clear of Southampton, but they have a game in hand, but they're shit, so we'll see. Palace, their form looks terrible, but in reality we should have got something out of that Man United game. We should have got something out of the Chelsea game. We obviously beat Huddersfield. We should have got something out of the Liverpool game, and we should have won that Bournemouth game. Now, should-haves don't keep you up at the end of the season at all, and if we go down, we've only got ourselves to blame. But and in fact, we would have our start to the season to blame, because if we'd have picked up, in those 9 games where we didn't pick up a point, if we'd have got a couple of wins, I wouldn't have been talking about Palace going down. We'd be up here. So I think it probably will be like the worst start to the season where someone's actually survived, and it's crazy. People forget about that start to the season where we were just awful. But yeah, Roy Hodgson's done a really good job. To be fair to him, it wasn't the manager I wanted. I still don't believe he's a long-term manager for Crystal Palace, but he's done a fantastic job, and if he keeps us up, I will be indebted to him. The whole club will, so hopefully he'll do that. But we've got 5 games left, Southampton got 6, Stoke got 5, West Brom got 5. Anything can happen. It's, you know, we could be seeing a Huddersfield going down, we could be seeing a Swansea going down. You just don't know. You know, West Ham is still in it. I think Brighton might just be okay now. The big match against Palace next. That's a real big match. They're big rivals, Palace and Brighton, so it'll be interesting. I think Watford upwards are fine. Newcastle for me, fantastic job Rafa Benitez has done there. Just incredible job. They beat Leicester 2-1. Brilliant goal from Shelvey, brilliant goal from Perez, by the way. Fantastic lob from Perez to score. And yeah, just I think he could be a contender for manager of the season, because that is a championship squad. That, like, he's kept, and not only that, but they're 10th in the fucking league. Incredible. Like, anybody, I can't understand why Rafa Benitez doesn't have a higher profile job than Newcastle United. Why was that? How was that guy managing in the Championship last season? He's a quality manager who's done a fantastic job at every club he's gone to. I do not get what happened, you know, but there you go. You know, he's a Champions League winner, for fuck's sake. This is crazy, but yeah, he's done a fantastic job there. I realise I just accidentally deleted the league table there. There we go. So yeah, brilliant result for Newcastle. They're really, really good result, because Leicester were chasing, you know, Burnley and Arsenal, but I feel like they're too far away now. Brighton, Huddersfield, obviously 1-1. Own goal from the Huddersfield goalie, a little bit unlucky really with it. And then the Brighton, yeah, Mooney, what did he do? He kind of like, it was a terrible back pass, like a really bad back pass. Yeah, which he latched onto, some bad play, and Brighton had proper sent off. Yeah, I feel like that was probably as good a result for both clubs as they could. I mean, they would both want to win, but what I mean is, like, they probably, both of them won't be disappointed with a draw there. Huddersfield still big danger, I think. Big danger. It only takes Southampton and Stoke to get their act together, and Huddersfield are in problems. Spurs beat Stoke. They kind of did it the hard way. Shaqiri with a lovely ball to Diouf. I will tell you something now. If we sell Wilf at the end of the season and we buy Shaqiri, I would not be too disappointed. Because I kind of accept, I don't want to lose Wilf, but I'm accepting that he's going to go. I kind of hope Stoke get relegated so that we could buy Shaqiri. I don't know if we would. I don't know. His comments about the team, you know, didn't really endear him to anyone, but he's still a quality player. And yeah, I think it would be interesting. Also, if we brought Butland as well, I wouldn't be disappointed with that, because we need a goalie. My thoughts were, if we sold Zaha and got 50 million, which I don't think is unreasonable in today's market, 40-50 million, something like that, and then we brought a goalkeeper and a replacement for him, like a Shaqiri, then that would actually be okay for the team. We'd be a better team for that, possibly. Possibly, but I hope we don't, because there's something about having a homegrown player at your club who's come through the academy that is just really special, I think, and you don't really want to ever lose that, but you have to accept sometimes that a player is bigger than, you know, is destined for bigger things, and I think he is, but we'll come to that when we come to that. But yeah, Spurs doing it the hard way. Eriksen with 2, believe it or not, I was going to put Eriksen in and I chose Son over him, so yeah, great job. Because I knew Spurs would score. They've credited it to Eriksen. Harry Kane said he was going to claim it, I don't know, but it was close. Watford, Burnley. Burnley just keep on winning, don't they? They're chasing down Arsenal. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Arsenal's Europa League exploits could see them, you know, dropping down in the league. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Fascinating to me that Burnley have only scored 31 goals this season. Brighton have scored less. Swansea, Huddersfield, West Brom, Crystal Palace, who didn't score in the first 9 games of the season. I think it was 9, or was it 7, something like that. Have more goals than Burnley now. Mental. Burnley have got 5 more wins. They are just the most efficient club out there, aren't they? But they're really good though, Burnley. I'd love to see them in Europe next season. I hope they can challenge Arsenal for 6th, or if 7th, we'll get them a Europa League place potentially. West Brom drawing with Swansea. I'm sure Swansea will be very disappointed with that, but I don't think it's a lifeline for West Brom. But hey, it's something to cheer, I guess. Pardew no longer there, been sacked. But you know, there's not much to say about that really. I said before, I don't think Swansea are out of danger at all, and I'll stick by that. But they probably should be okay. I think, you know, I think like 38 is going to be the marker to stay up, and could even be as low as like 35, 36. But they should be able to get a couple of wins, or you know, something by the end of the season. You'd hope. Arsenal beat Southampton 3-2. Danny Welbeck's an interesting guy, isn't he? Promises much, but fails to deliver on a lot of occasions. But he did deliver here. But don't get me wrong, Southampton were rubbish. I like Charlie Austin a lot, though. I'd love it if Palace brought Charlie Austin as well. But Southampton defensively were awful. They were so bad. Arsenal were not that good at all. Aubameyang is scoring a lot. He's got, I think it's 6 and 7. 6 and 7, yeah. Which is a fantastic return, obviously. But Arsenal are still absolute shit without, you know, with that in mind. They don't have him in the Europa League because he's cup tied. Even though I don't think he played for Dortmund in the Europa League, which is kind of ridiculous. But there you go. But yeah, without they don't look good, Arsenal, at all. I don't think. Southampton was so bad. I can't see Southampton staying up, but you never know. They've got Chelsea next. You know, Chelsea drew, and they've looked a little bit shitty over the last few games. But you know, that I'd be surprised if they didn't win. I'd be massively surprised if Southampton got anything out of that Chelsea game. And yeah, Chelsea 1-1 as well. Chicharito scoring and equalising. Again, Chelsea didn't look that good, but they look certainly better than West Ham. And I'd put money on West Ham beating Southampton. So you know, I'd be very surprised if they didn't beat Southampton, you know, in the next game. But I mean, I hope they do, because I want Crystal Palace to stay up. Now we've got an interesting situation in our next set of fixtures, because it extends from the Saturday all the way down to the Thursday, and some teams play twice. So we've seen this before. So Chelsea play twice, Southampton don't, Leicester do, Man United do, but basically Man City don't and Liverpool don't either. So I need to drop players from them, put in Spurs and Man United players. I'm going to probably change a lot of the team and take a lot of points hits, but I'm going to go for it, I think. Man United got West Brom and Bournemouth. They should win those games. So I'm going to probably put in 3 Man United players, probably Lukaku, Lingard and like Sanchez if I can, and then probably put in, I don't know if I'll put Harry Kane in. I know that sounds dumb, but I'll probably leave Ali and Son in, because they're capable of getting something, a result against City, and then they're playing Brighton, which again they're capable of getting a result in. So we'll see how that goes. Crystal Palace Brighton's a big game. Palace only playing once there. Burnley played twice, so I'll probably leave in my Burnley players if Ben Mee's back, because he was injured unfortunately. But yeah, that'll be very, very interesting, I think. So looking at the league, you can kind of see that in a relegation wise, I think we can all agree that West Brom are going to need a miracle to stay up. Like a real actual miracle. They're 10 points off safety with 5 games left. That's almost unthinkable, but you never know. Stoke and Southampton, if we look at their kind of fixtures, Southampton have got Chelsea and then Leicester. Tough games, to be honest, and they're not playing well. Stoke are playing against West Ham. Again, West Ham will want a result there because they're not out of danger yet. Then it's Burnley. Burnley are seriously tough opponents. You don't want to play them. And Southampton aren't playing. And then you have Southampton, Bournemouth. Potentially winnable, I think, for Southampton. Kind of a mini derby there, and then I don't think they'll beat Liverpool, Stoke. So, I mean, you don't know, but I don't think they stand a chance in that game. And then you have Stoke against Palace. Massive game, obviously. Big game potentially. I mean, by this point though, Palace could be, Palace are playing Leicester. We could win that. Leicester aren't playing for a lot. Watford aren't playing for a lot, and Brighton is a kind of derby grudge match. So, like, we've got 3 games we could potentially win there. By the time we play Stoke, we could be safe. We could be on 40 points. I really hope we are, but I don't think we will be. But I'm kind of saying that and trying to convince myself that that's the thing that will happen. Southampton, Swansea again. Swansea still fighting. I'd at the current rate, I'd bet on Swansea to beat them. And then you get to the last game of the season, and you've got Palace at home to West Brom, which by that point surely West Brom are down and out. So you'd think Palace are gonna win that. And you've got Swansea, Stoke. Again, both could still be battling, and unfortunately Southampton are at home to Man City, which, I mean, Man City, I would imagine, barring some catastrophic error, they have won the league by then. But even a Man City second team would beat Southampton currently. They just looked really bad, I think. Don't get me wrong, I think they've looked a little bit better under Mark Hughes, but like attacking wise, but in defence they just still look utter trash. So yeah, I think that what we see there now is what will happen. The only thing I think could happen is Huddersfield could drop down. Let's have a look at what Huddersfield are going to be playing. So Huddersfield last game of the season is Arsenal. That's not easy. Chelsea, oh shit. Man City, oh fuck. Everton at home, that's not that easy. Not playing there. And then they've got Watford, that's winnable, but actually a really tough run in. So I may change my mind now. I might say I think Huddersfield might go down, I really might. That could happen. 32 points is not safe enough, and there's only one game there. I can see them really confidently saying I think they'll beat Watford, but we'll see. If they don't win, or if they lose that game against Watford, that's a seriously tough run in. So we'll have to wait and see, won't we? It's exciting though. Alright, the league's over, but there's still some exciting games to come. I don't think Chelsea are going to get a Champions League place anymore. 10 points is way too much. So this looks like our top 4. Perhaps Arsenal could catch Chelsea, but I think Arsenal are going to be focusing too much on the Europa League. They should go through against CSK in Moscow. They're 4-1 up, but they don't travel well to Russia. But I can't see them not scoring against CSK. They'll definitely concede, I reckon, but I can't see them not scoring. So I guess we'll see. It's exciting anyway. I love it. Like, the end of the season is so nerve-wracking. Like when your team is 3 points off total oblivion. it's nerve-wracking, but we just got to keep Wolves off it. But yeah, good luck to all you fans out there if your team is in a similar situation, because it's tough, trust me. I don't want to see any team get relegated, because I know how that feels. I've been a Crystal Palace fan my whole life, and it hurts because we've been relegated a lot. But there's 3 teams that are going to get relegated, and the league is the most honest thing you can have, because you have 38 games, and if you're bottom, it's not a one-off match like a cup game where you can go, we were unlucky. You weren't unlucky if you're in the bottom three. You did not play well enough. And that, I would say that for Crystal Palace, even though I think they have been unlucky in the last few games. Those first games of the season, we were utter trash. So, you know, if we go down, we'll deserve it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. As always, been my pleasure. And I won't see you now until probably the next video will go up on Friday the 20th, but we'll have a lot to go through, put it that way. We'll know a lot more about how this league is going to shape up by then. But yeah, till then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.